Two women on opposite sides of war, and a love that refused to surrender. The bomb siren wailed like a mother's final scream, slicing through the humid Saigon night. Elena Harper jolted awake in her cot, heart pounding against her ribs, the metallic tang of fear sharp on her tongue. Sweat soaked her thin nightshirt, clinging to her skin like a second layer of regret. Around her the nurses' barracks stirred, groans, whispers, the rustle of sheets as bodies sought cover under metal frames that offered no real shield. But Elena didn't move. She couldn't. Her fingers trembled as they closed around the folded letter tucked under her pillow, its edges worn soft from endless readings. "Riley," she breathed, the name a prayer against the chaos outside. Riley's words danced in her mind. "You're breaking me, Elena. Come home. The world's on fire and you're running into it." 3 months ago, in a San Francisco coffee shop thick with the scent of fresh espresso and patchouli incense, Elena had made her choice. Riley's laugh had echoed off the brick walls that afternoon, light and wild, like wind chimes in a summer breeze. They were 25 then, tangled in the kind of love that felt invincible. Stolen kisses behind protest banners, fingers laced under cafe tables while Riley sketched anti-war cartoons on napkins, her dark hair falling like a curtain over Elena's shoulder. Elena, fresh from nursing school in Kansas, had come to the city on a whim, chasing dreams of big lights and bigger hearts. She'd found Riley instead, painting murals of peace doves on Haight Street walls, her brown eyes sparking with fire that matched the summer sun. But duty called louder than desire. The draft notices piled up like storm clouds, boys from her hometown vanishing into jungles she'd only seen in newsreels. Elena's father, a World War II vet with calloused hands and a voice like gravel, had gripped her shoulder one humid evening on the family porch. "Nurses save souls, Ellie. Don't let those hippies fill your head with nonsense." The smell of his pipe tobacco lingered in her memory, mixing with the earthy Kansas soil under her bare feet. She enlisted that night, the pen scratching paper like a knife on bone. Riley had begged. Oh God, the begging. In their tiny apartment overlooking the bay, waves crashing below like accusations, Riley had pressed her palms to Elena's cheeks, thumbs tracing the freckles across her nose. "This war's a monster, love. It eats everything. Us included." Her voice cracked, a sob escaping like steam from a kettle. Elena had pulled her close, inhaling the lavender soap on Riley's skin, the faint citrus of her shampoo. "I have to go. For them. For me." Their lips met then, desperate and salt-slick with tears, bodies arching in a rhythm that said stay, stay, stay. But morning came and Elena boarded the plane, Riley's silhouette shrinking on the tarmac, a hand pressed to her mouth. Now, in the dim glow of a bare bulb swinging from the barracks ceiling, Elena unfolded the letter again. Riley's handwriting slanted like a dancer mid-leap. "I marched today 5,000 strong. Chants echoing off the Capitol steps. Hell no, we won't go. But without you it's hollow. I dream of your hands cool and steady on my fevered skin. Come back to me, Elena, before the divide swallows us whole." A distant explosion rattled the windows, glass humming like a tuning fork. Elena's breath hitched, a soft sigh escaping as she traced the ink with her fingertip. She imagined Riley now, back in the fog-shrouded streets of the city, her voice rising above the crowd, megaphone in hand, posters of napalm children clutched like talismans. How many nights had Riley spent alone, the bed cold where Elena used to curl against her back, whispering stories of quiet Kansas sunrises. The all-clear siren droned, lazy and indifferent. Elena slipped the letter away, swinging her legs over the cot's edge. Her boots hit the concrete floor with a thud that echoed her resolve, or was it her doubt? She dressed quickly, the starched uniform scratching her collarbone, a reminder of the role she played. Nurse, patriot, lover torn in two. Outside, the air hung heavy, laced with diesel fumes and the faint, acrid bite of Agent Orange drifting from the fields. Dawn crept over the horizon, painting the sky in bruised purples and hesitant golds. Elena lit a cigarette. Riley hated the habit, called it lungs trading kisses with death, and inhaled deeply, the smoke curling like ghosts in the still air. Her shift started soon, another convoy of wounded rolling in, boys no older than she was, their eyes hollow with screams they couldn't voice. As she walked toward the hospital tent, gravel crunching underfoot, a jeep rumbled past, kicking up dust that stung her eyes. She wiped it away, blinking back the blur. In her pocket, another letter waited, unsent. I miss your laugh, the way it bubbles like creek water. But Riley, I see their faces, limbs gone, futures erased. How do I tell you this war's carved a canyon between us? Yet every heartbeat says, fight for us. Surrender nothing. She didn't know then that the canyon would widen, that fate or folly would drag Riley across an ocean to bridge it. But in that moment, with the sun cresting like a promise unkept, Elena whispered to the empty air, hold on. Just hold on. The hospital was a symphony of suffering by midday. Flies buzzed around open wounds, the metallic scent of blood mingling with antiseptic's sharp sting. Elena moved like a shadow among the cots, her hands steady as she changed dressings, her voice a soft anchor. Breathe easy now, soldier. In and out like ocean waves. One boy, freckled and barely 20, gripped her wrist as she injected morphine. It hurts, ma'am. Everywhere. His whisper cut deeper than shrapnel. She squeezed back, her throat tight. I know. But you're here. That's winning. Hours blurred into a haze of sutures and sedatives. By evening her arms ached, muscles screaming from lifting stretchers solo when orderlies vanished for smokes. She collapsed onto a crate outside, the night's humidity wrapping around her like a damp blanket. Crickets chirped in erratic bursts, punctuated by the occasional chopper thump overhead, rotors slicing air like unanswered questions. That's when the letter from home arrived, smudged and dog-eared, postmarked 3 weeks prior. Riley's scent clung to the paper, lavender and salt air. Elena's fingers shook as she broke the seal. Dearest Elena. The protests swell like tides I can't control. Yesterday we shut down the bridge, hundreds linking arms, singing Dylan till our throats raw. But tonight, alone with your photo on the mantel, I unravel. Your smile haunts me, that crooked one after our first kiss in Golden Gate Park. Fog rolling in like a secret keeper. I hate this war for stealing you, for turning my fire against your light. Yet I love you more for your courage, even if it guts me. Write soon. Tell me you're safe. Tell me we're still us. Riley. A tear splashed the page, ink blooming like a bruise. Elena pressed it to her chest, rocking slightly, the motion instinctive as a lullaby. Around her the bass quieted, soldiers laughing over cards, the clink of beer cans, a harmonica's mournful wail cutting the dark. She wanted to scream back at the stars. We are us. Always. But words failed, tangled in the web of duty and desire. Instead she stood, dusting off her fatigues, and headed to the radio tent. The operator, a lanky kid from Texas with a drawl like molasses, nodded as she slipped him a tape. For stateside, ma'am? Elena managed a smile. Yeah. Personal. She spoke into the mic, voice steady despite the quiver in her gut. Riley? It's me. God, I miss you. The days here. They're endless, full of ghosts wearing young faces. But your letters, they're my North Star. Don't stop fighting, love. For them. For us. A pause, breath catching like fabric on a nail. I love you. More than skies or seas. The tape whirred to a stop. Elena stepped out into the moonlit compound, fireflies winking like distant hopes. She didn't hear the reply for weeks, didn't know Riley clutched that recording like a lifeline, playing it on loop in candlelit vigils. But in the quiet Elena felt it, a thread thin as spider silk, holding against the storm. Weeks turned to a relentless grind. Convoy ambushes brought floods of casualties. A sergeant with his jaw wired shut, humming tunes through clenched teeth. A private whose screams echoed long after sedation, dreaming of home fires that smelled of apple pie and regret. Elena's hands, once soft from Kansas gardens, now bore the permanent chill of latex gloves, nails bitten to stubs in stolen moments. One rain-soaked afternoon, as thunder rolled like artillery fire, a new patient arrived, Captain Laura Hayes, a WC intelligence officer, her leg shattered by a mine. Laura's eyes, sharp blue under cropped blonde hair, locked on Elena's as she prepped the 4. You look like you've seen hell, nurse. Her voice was rough, edged with pain but laced with grit. Elena forced a chuckle, the sound rusty. Says the woman who danced with the booby trap. She adjusted the drip, fingers brushing Laura's arm. A spark of solidarity in the sterile chill. They talked then, halting at first, words weaving through the patter of rain on canvas. Laura from Boston, Elena from Wichita. Both daughters of wars past, both chasing purpose in this green inferno. "You're here because you believe," Laura said later, as Elena changed her bandages. The captain's skin was pale, freckled like fresh snow, her breath hitching with each tug of gauze. "What pulls you through?" Elena hesitated, the scent of iodine thick in her nose. Riley's face flashed, laughing in a meadow, daisies woven into her hair. Someone waiting. Someone worth the fight. She tied off the dressing, her touch lingering a beat too long. Laura's gaze softened, understanding flickering like a match in wind. That night, Elena wrote by lantern light, the flame dancing shadows across her journal. "Riley, today I saved a woman like us, fierce, unbroken. Made me think of you, how you'd rally for her. Paint her story on every wall. I ache for your arms, the way you hum off-key to Joan Baez, your breath warm on my neck. This war tests everything. But our love? It's the one thing I won't let break." She sealed it, heart heavy as lead, and dreamed of home. Of Riley's kitchen, flour-dusted counters where they bake bread at midnight, dough rising like hope under their joined hands. The dream shattered with dawn's first light, sirens blaring anew. Elena rose, steeling herself. Another day. Another divide to cross. But across the Pacific, in a cramped apartment where fog pressed against the windows like uninvited guests, Riley Donovan paced the worn floorboards. The tape from Elena played on her old reel-to-reel, her lover's voice a bomb and a blade. "I love you. More than skies or seas." Riley sank to the rug, knees drawn up, the city's hum filtering through. Car horns, distant chants from another rally. She was 27 now, lines etching her eyes from sleepless nights, her once vibrant curls tied back in a hasty knot. Art supplies cluttered the space. Half-finished canvases of burning villages, protest flyers stacked like accusations. The air smelled of turpentine and takeout curry, remnants of meals eaten alone. Riley's hands, paint-stained and trembling, clutched a photo, her and Elena at a beach bonfire, faces aglow, arms entwined as if the world couldn't touch them. The divide had started small. College debates in Berkeley lecture halls, Elena's quiet defense of duty, clashing with Riley's fiery rants on imperialism. But love bridged it then, in whispered apologies and fevered nights. Now, with Elena in the jungle's maw, the gap yawned like a fault line. Riley stood, crossing to the window. Below, the street pulsed with life. Kids on bikes, vendors hawking flowers, a group of vets with signs, "Bring them home." She joined them often, her voice a megaphone's roar, but inside doubt gnawed. Was she fighting for peace, or just for Elena's return? The thought twisted like a knife, sharp and unyielding. That evening, at a candlelit vigil in Golden Gate Park, Riley spoke to a crowd of hundreds. The air was crisp, eucalyptus leaves rustling like applause. "We light these flames not for glory, but for the souls lost, the boys drafted, the villages razed, the loves torn asunder." Her words trembled, eyes scanning faces for absolution. A woman in the front row, older with silver-streaked hair, nodded, her own loss etched in wrinkles. "My son's there. And my heart's with him." Riley's chest tightened, Elena's face superimposing on every soldier's. After, as embers glowed in the dusk, a young activist approached, Sam with earnest eyes and a guitar slung over her shoulder. "Your speech. It hit home. Want to grab coffee? Talk strategy." Riley hesitated, the invitation warm like sunlight on chilled skin. But Elena's voice echoed from the tape, "Hold on." She smiled politely, declining. "Rain check. Got a letter to write." Back home, under the flicker of a desk lamp, Riley poured her soul onto paper. "Elena, your words on the tape, they're my armor. I marched today, felt the crowd's pulse like our heartbeat once synced. But nights are voids without you. I fear this war will claim more than lives. It'll steal our tomorrow. Yet I believe in us, in the quiet promises we made under stars. Fight smart, my love. Come back whole. She licked the envelope, the glue tasting of salt and longing, and dropped it in the mailbox. The clang echoed like a gavel. Outside, the Bay Bridge lights twinkled, a fragile chain across dark waters. Riley whispered to the night. Surrender? Never. Monsoon season hit like a vengeance, turning the base into a quagmire of mud and misery. Elena slogged through it, her boots sinking with each step, water sloshing inside like a personal tide. The rain drummed on her helmet, a relentless tattoo that drowned out thought, but not memory. Riley's latest letter, water-spotted but intact, burned in her pocket. I believe in us. For words that anchored her amid the flood. Inside the tent, the air was thick with steam and the coppery reek of blood. Generators hummed erratically, lights flickering like hesitant confessions. Elena scrubbed in, the sting of iodine on her knuckles a small penance. Today's case. A chopper pilot, rotors shredded, her face a mask of burns and determination. Call me Jax. The woman rasped through oxygen, her voice gravel over glass. Got a girl back home. Tell her I made it. Elena's nod was automatic, but her gut twisted. Jax has a girl. The words hung, unspoken solidarity in the chaos. As she handed scalpels and suction fluids, their eyes met, Jax's green fierce despite the pain. You get it, Jax murmured mid-delirium. The pull. War versus her. Yeah, Elena replied, voice low as she sutured a laceration, needle-piercing flesh with a wet pop. I get it. The confession slipped out raw as an open wound. Jax's hand found hers, brief squeeze amid the beeps of monitors. In that touch, Elena saw Riley, not the activist firebrand, but the woman who bandaged her scraped knees after protest scuffles, humming softly. It'll scar, but it'll heal pretty. Post-op as rain lashed the tent flaps. Elena sat vigil by Jax's cot. The pilot slept fitfully, twitching with phantom pains. Elena pulled out her journal, pen scratching faintly. Riley met a pilot today with your fire in her eyes. She fights from the sky, I from the ground. Both for loves left behind. Makes me wonder. Am I saving lives or just delaying the inevitable? Your letters keep me human. Smell like home, like us tangled in sheets laughing at nothing. I orderly poked his head in, rain dripping from his poncho. Mail call, Harper. Something from the States. Elena's heart leaped, fingers fumbling the envelope. Riley's script bolder now, as if pressed with urgency. She tore it open, unfolding in the dim light. My fierce nurse. San Francisco's a storm of its own. Raids on draft offices, whispers of going underground. I painted a mural last week. 2 hands clasped over barbed wire. One in olive drab, one in peace signs. That's us, Elena. Entwined despite the thorns. Sam, the guitarist from the vigil, offered to house sit while I think about joining a convoy. Aid workers heading your way. Crazy. Maybe. But if I can't bring you home, I'll meet you there. Dream of me. A fog-kissed mornings, your head on my chest. Love that defies borders. Riley. Elena's breath caught. A sharp inhale like surfacing from depths. Join a convoy? The idea bloomed terror and thrill. A cocktail that soured in her veins. Riley with her artist's hands and protester's heart. In this meat grinder? No. She scrawled a reply by flashlight, ink smudging under hasty tears. Don't. Please. This place devours dreamers. I need your voice out there, rallying the world. Our love's strongest apart for now. Hold the line, love. I'll hold mine. But doubt crept in as she sealed it, the flap sticking like reluctance. Was she protecting Riley, or herself from the what-ifs? The rain eased to a drizzle, pattering like hesitant applause. Elena stepped outside, mud sucking at her soles, and lit another cigarette. Smoke mingled with petrichor, earth reborn in the deluge. Overhead, stars peeked through clouds, indifferent witnesses. Jack stirred then, calling weakly. Elena rushed back, adjusting blankets, her touch gentle as a vow. She'll wait, Jax whispered, eyes glassy. Love like that. It bends time. Elena nodded, throat tight, and thought of Riley bending signs into doves, bending rules for peace. Bend back to me, she prayed silently. Days blurred into a fever of fractures and fevers. Elena's shift stretched to 18 hours, fueled by black coffee that tasted of burnt rubber and willpower. She bandaged burns from napalm runs, set bones shattered by AK fire, whispered comforts in the dark when morphine failed. Her body protested, back knotted, eyes burning, but her mind wandered to Riley, the curve of her hip under moonlight, the soft hitch in her breath during lovemaking, like waves cresting. One sweltering noon under a sky heavy as regret, Captain Hayes cornered her in the mess tent. Laura, leg in a cumbersome cast, hobbled on crutches, her uniform rumpled but eyes alight. The air smelled of spam and stale bread, fans whirring futilely against the heat. Walk with me, Harper. Need air that doesn't reek of gangrene. They ambled to the perimeter fence, barbed wire glinting like false jewels. Beyond, jungle loomed, vines twisting like secrets. Laura lit a joint, contraband from a supply drop, offering a drag. Elena waved it off, but the earthy smoke curled between them, loosening tongues. Got a letter from my girl, Laura said, exhaling slow. Says Boston's freezing without me. But hell, Elena, this. She gestured to the wire, the distant thump of artillery. It's a thief. Elena leaned against the post, metal warm under her palm. Mine's in Frisco. Protests every weekend. Thinks I'm the thief. The words tumbled unbidden and Laura's gaze sharpened, not judgment but recognition. Opposite sides, huh? War's got a way of splitting souls. Laura's voice softened, a sigh escaping like steam. She reached out, hand on Elena's shoulder, thumb brushing collarbone in a gesture too intimate for comrades. Elena froze, pulse quickening. Not revulsion but a spark long banked. Riley's touch echoed in it, warm and knowing. They stood like that, rain-scented breeze stirring leaves until a patrol jeep honked. Laura pulled back, grin crooked. Tell her you're worth the wait. All of us are. Elena nodded, cheeks flushing, and returned to duty with questions buzzing like mosquitoes. That night, alone in the barracks, Elena replayed the moment, guilt gnawing like termites. Was it betrayal, this flicker? Or just human hunger in a place starved of touch? She wrote to Riley, pen flying. Met a captain today, reminds me of your strength. But no one touches my heart like you. This jungle tests loyalties, but ours? Ironclad. Miss your scent, your sigh when I kiss your neck. Stay safe. Stay mine. Across the world, Riley's world tilted on its axis. The aid convoy call came mid-rally, a grizzled organizer pulling her aside amid the throng. We need medics, artists for morale. Vietnam. 3 months. The words landed like grenades, shrapnel of possibility. Riley's apartment that night was a cocoon of indecision. She paced, floor creaking under bare feet, the bay's foghorn moaning in sympathy. Elena's tape looped again, her voice a siren call. Hold the line. But Riley's line frayed, visions of Elena exhausted, isolated, fueled a reckless fire. She imagined arriving, hands outstretched across the divide, painting hope on tent walls, holding Elena through nightmares. Sam dropped by unannounced, guitar in tow, her smile easy as summer rain. Heard about the convoy. You're going, right? We could use your fire. They sat on the fire escape, city lights sprawling below like fallen stars. Sam strummed softly, chords weaving melancholy. Riley leaned in, shoulder to shoulder, the contact grounding. It's for her, she confessed, voice cracking. To bridge the gap. Sam's eyes held hers, warm and unwavering. Love's a bridge worth burning for. Their fingers brushed on the railing, a current humming. Riley pulled away, heart racing. Not desire but comfort in shared ache. Sam understood, no questions, just a quiet song about rivers and returns. By dawn, Riley decided. She packed light. A sketchpad, meds kit, Elena's letters tied with twine. The application flew out, stamped with resolve. I'm coming, she thought, sealing fate. For us. Elena's reply arrived days later, just as Riley boarded the transport plane. Engines roaring like destiny. Stay mine. Riley pressed the paper to her lips, turbulence be damned. The ocean below stretched endless, a mirror to their chasm. But in her chest hope flickered, small, stubborn, refusing surrender. In Saigon, Elena felt the shift without knowing. A chopper dusted down aid workers, their faces weary but lit with purpose. Among them, a woman with black curls and a peace sign necklace stepped off, scanning the crowd. Elena's breath stopped. Time fractured, rain forgotten, as their eyes met across the mud. Riley. The name escaped, a gasp swallowed by wind. The world narrowed to that instant, the chopper's blade slowing to a whine that echoed Elena's pulse. Mud splattered Riley's boots as she dropped her duffel, the thud lost in the din. Her eyes, those deep brown pools Elena had drowned in 100 times, widened, then softened with a joy so raw it bordered pain. "Elena," Riley whispered, voice carrying like smoke over water. They collided mid-stride, arms wrapping fierce, bodies fitting like puzzle pieces long separated. Elena's face buried in Riley's neck, inhaling lavender cut by jet fuel and resolve. "You idiot," she murmured, half sob, half laugh, tears hot on her cheeks. "You came." Riley's hands roamed her back, fingers digging in as if to memorize anew, her breath hitching against Elena's hair. "Couldn't wait anymore. Had to see you. Hold you." Around them soldiers paused, stares lingering, curious, envious, a few smirks. But the world faded. There was only this. Riley's heartbeat thundering against Elena's chest, the press of her curves through damp fabric, the faint tremor in her embrace that spoke volumes. They pulled back just enough to look, foreheads touching, breaths mingling in the humid air. Rain started again, soft patter on their shoulders, baptizing the reunion. "Come on," Elena said, grabbing Riley's bag, her nurse's grip steady despite the quake inside. "My bunk. Now." They hurried through the base, puddles splashing, laughter bubbling unbidden. Riley's wild, Elena's relieved. The barracks door creaked shut behind them, sealing out the storm. Inside, the space was spare. Cot, footlocker, a single bulb casting golden halos. Riley dropped to the edge of the mattress, pulling Elena down with her. No words at first, just kisses, hungry and healing. Elena's lips tasted of salt and longing, her tongue tracing Riley's like a map home. Hands explored, rediscovering. The dip of waist, the swell of breast, the soft sigh when fingers slipped under hems. Clothing shed in a tangle, rain drumming a private rhythm. They moved together, slow at first, savoring, Elena's mouth on Riley's collarbone, drawing a gasp like wind through reeds. Riley's nails grazing Elena's thighs, eliciting a moan muffled against skin. The cot creaked in protest but held witness to their reclaiming. Climax built like thunder, crashing in waves, bodies arching, breaths ragged, names chanted like incantations. "Riley. Oh God. Elena, yes, stay with me." After they lay entwined, sheets twisted, sweat cooling in the draft. Riley traced lazy patterns on Elena's arm, freckles like constellations. "I painted us," she murmured, voice husky. "On a wall in Frisco. You and Scrubs, me with a sign." Hands reaching. Elena turned, chin on Riley's chest, listening to her heart's steady drum. "Reckless. Beautiful. I love you." The bubble burst with revelie's blare, reality intruding like a rude guest. Elena dressed reluctantly, uniform chafing anew. 8 shift starts soon. You'll be with the convoy. Med supplies to villages. Riley nodded, pulling on her volunteer vest, pins glinting. Doves, fists, hearts. Then I'll see horrors up close. For the stories. For you. Breakfast in the mess was a minefield of glances. Jax wheeled by, eyebrow arched at Riley's presence. Brought the home front to the front lines? Her tone teased but eyes warmed. Elena flushed, introducing them, Jax's grip firm on Riley's hand, a silent pact forming. Laura joined, crutches clicking, her smile sharp. "Artist, eh? Draw me as a warrior queen." Riley laughed, sketching quick on a napkin. A crowned figure with sword and stethoscope. "Bonds knit fast here, fragile as rice paper." Riley's first convoy rolled out at noon. Elena waving from the gate, heart in her throat. The trucks rumbled off, dust clouds swallowing them. Bound for hamlets scarred by defoliants. Bare earth, children with haunted eyes. Riley rode shotgun, sketchpad open, capturing. A mother's gnarled hands cradling a burned doll. The acrid stench of chemicals clinging to everything. Her stomach churn, pencil strokes furious. This is why, she thought, why Elena fights. Why I must show it. Back at base, Elena threw herself into rounds, but distraction lingered. Riley's scent on her pillow, the ghost of her touch. A patient that afternoon, a kid from Alabama with shrapnel in his gut, clutched her sleeve. Heard you got company. Lucky. Write her every day, ma'am. Keeps the dark away. Elena nodded, throat tight, and did just that during break. Your skin's branded on me. Seeing you here, it's oxygen. But the villages. They'll break your heart. Let me shield you. Love it. Dusk fell heavy, fireflies sparking like signals. Riley returned, face ashen, duffel heavy with stories. Over Emery's in the tent shadows, she poured it out, words tumbling like rain. The widow's wail, the boy's defiant grin amid ruins. Elena listened, holding her hand under the table, thumb stroking knuckles. You're brave, she whispered, pulling Riley close. Braver than me. Their nights blurred into stolen intimacies, whispers in the dark, bodies seeking solace. One evening, under a sky bruised purple, they slipped to the riverbank, base lights distant. Water lapped gentle, firelight from a shared cigarette illuminating faces. Riley leaned into Elena, head on shoulder. This place. It's alive with ghosts. Elena kissed her temple, tasting salt. Then we'll be their light. But cracks formed. Protests back home escalated. Newsreels showed clashes, blood on pavement. Riley caught snippets on the radio, her activist blood boiling. They're arresting vets now. For speaking out. Elena tensed, fork pausing mid-bite. It's complicated here. You see the why. Arguments simmered, low at first. Riley's idealism clashing Elena's pragmatism. Words like sparks on dry tinder. One night, after a brutal shift, 20 casualties from a village raid, Elena snapped. The tent flap slapped shut, her voice edged. You draw pretty pictures, Riley. But I stitch the pieces. Riley recoiled, eyes flashing. And I scream so the world sees. So you don't have to forever. Silence stretched, thick as smoke, broken by Riley's sigh. I'm sorry. This war. It's poisoning us. They made up in the dark, apologies murmured against skin. But the poison lingered. Laura noticed, pulling Elena aside during rounds. Lovers' quarrels hit harder here. Her hand on Elena's elbow, steadying. Elena confessed fragments, the ideological rift, the fear of losing Riley to more than Miles. Laura's hug was brief, strong. Fight for it. Like you fight for them. Riley, meanwhile, bonded with the A-team. Doctors with weary smiles, volunteers trading tales of home. Sam had written, Miss your fire. Convoys treating me well? Riley replied honestly. It's hell but worth it. For her. Her sketches piled up, raw testaments. Lovers parted by uniforms, children playing in craters. A week-in crisis struck. Mortar fire peppered the base at midnight. Explosions blooming like malignant flowers. Elena dove for cover, dragging a nurse under a jeep, ears ringing with debris. Riley in the aid tent triaged panicked civilians, hands bloodied, voice calm amid screams. Breathe. In. Out. When the barrage ceased, they found each other in the rubble-strewn yard, clinging amid acrid smoke. You're okay, Elena gasped, checking Riley for wounds, palms frantic. Riley cupped her face, thumbs wiping soot. We are. Together. The kiss was fierce, tasting of fear and survival, a vow renewed in chaos. But dawn brought news. A village convoy ambushed, aid workers taken. Whispers flew. VC holding for ransom. Riley paled, gripping Elena's arm. Not ours. Please. Elena held her through the wait, hours ticking like bombs. Relief came at noon, release negotiated. Scratches but no losses. Riley exhaled, collapsing against Elena. Too close. That night they lay awake, fingers laced. I can't lose you here, Elena whispered, voice cracking. Riley turned, eyes fierce in moonlight. Then let's end this madness. Together. The seed planted, defiance blooming. Across the wire, Laura watched from shadows, a pang unfamiliar. Her letters home grew sparse, thoughts drifting to Elena's quiet strength. Boston feels distant, she wrote. Found something real here. Someone. As weeks waned, Riley's presence wove into the base's fabric. Murals on sandbags, songs around fires. But the war pressed, unrelenting, testing their fragile peace. The heat wave descended like a fever dream, turning the air to soup. Every breath labored. Elena wiped sweat from her brow, the rag coming away grimy, as she prepped for another endless shift. Riley's murals adorned the hospital walls now, vibrant scenes of unity. Hands of all colors clasped, doves soaring over rice paddies. Patients traced them with bandaged fingers, smiles flickering through pain. "Your girl's a wizard," Jax told Elena one morning, wheeling past with her new prosthetic leg, gait uneven but proud. "Reminds us there's color beyond this green hell." Elena grinned, pride swelling like a tide. "Yeah, she's my light." But shadows lengthened. News from home crackled over the radio. Tet offensive echoes, body counts climbing, protests turning riots. Riley devoured every bulletin, her face hardening like clay in sun. "The tide's turning," she'd say, sketching furious caricatures of politicians as puppets. Elena nodded, but unease stirred. Riley's fire, once warming, now scorched. One blistering afternoon, the argument ignited. Elena returned from a medevac run, dust-caked and bone-weary, to find Riley huddled with aid workers, maps spread, plotting a neutral zone run to a contested village. The tent smelled of instant coffee and desperation, voices low and urgent. "We go in unarmed," Riley insisted, marker circling coordinates. "Deliver meds, document atrocities. Force their hand." Elena burst in, voice sharp as shrapnel. "Are you insane? That's suicide." Heads turned, tension coiling. Riley stood, chin lifted, eyes stormy. "It's action, Elena. Not hiding behind barbed wire." The words landed like slaps, Elena's fatigue igniting. "Hiding? I save lives daily, while you play hero with pencils and pills." Riley flinched but fired back. "And I expose the lie. So the world wakes up. So you come home to something worth saving." Silence crashed, heavy as fallout. The aid workers slipped out, leaving them alone with the map's accusing lines. Elena's chest heaved, tears pricking. "I didn't ask you here to risk everything." Riley stepped close, voice breaking. "But I came for us. To fight beside you." Their hands met, trembling, pulling into an embrace that started angry, turned tender. Lips brushed, apologies unspoken. Bodies seeking truce in familiar rhythms. Later, tangled in the cot's confines, Riley traced Elena's scars, faint ones from childhood falls, new ones from stray glass. "I hate this war for marking you," she murmured, kiss soft on a jagged line. Elena shivered, arching. "It marks us all. But you heal." Their lovemaking was slow, reverent, fingers mapping routes of desire, breath sinking like heartbeats in crisis. Climax whispered rather than roared, a quiet surrender to each other. But the rift festered. Laura became Elena's unwitting confessor. Their walks along the fence a ritual. Crutches abandoned, Laura's limp fading, she leaned on Elena instead. Arm looped, casual, conversations delving deep. "You're activist, she's got spine," Laura said one sunset, sky bleeding orange. Bugs hummed lazy, river murmuring below. "But war twists spines." Elena sighed, head on Laura's shoulder, the contact platonic yet charged. "Twists everything. I love her too much to watch her break." Laura's hand covered hers, warm and sure. "Love's the break worth mending." The moment stretched, Elena's pulse quickening, guilt flickering. She pulled away gently, but the seed of confusion took root. Riley's convoy runs intensified, each return etching lines on her face. One evening she stumbled in, clothes torn, a gash on her forearm from thorns or worse. "Village hit hard," she rasped, collapsing onto a crate. Elena cleaned the wound wordlessly, antiseptic biting, her touch fierce. "Tell me." Riley did, bombed huts, families fleeing. A child's tiny hand in hers as they ran. Tears mixed with suds. "I drew it all. But pictures can't scream." Elena bandaged tight, then held her, rocking slow. "You scream for them. That's enough." But inside fear gnawed. Riley's light dimming, consumed by shadows. A letter from home arrived for Riley. Sam's script effusive. Your murals inspire riots of the right kind. Miss jamming with you. When you back, we'll burn one for old times. Riley smiled faintly, tucking it away, but Elena glimpsed, jealousy flaring unbidden. Friend? She asked, tone neutral. Riley nodded. More like sister. Keeps the home fires lit. Nights brought fragile peace. Riley's head in Elena's lap. Elena combing fingers through curls, humming Kansas lullabies. Remember our first fight? Riley murmured, eyes drifting shut. Over pizza toppings. Thought we'd end. Elena chuckled low. We made up with gelato. Best defeat ever. Laughter faded to sighs, bodies entwining, the caught a raft on turbulent seas. Crisis peaked mid-month. A massive assault rocked the perimeter. Gunfire cracking like whips, grenades blooming fire. Elena manned the triage, blood slick underfoot, screams blending with rotor wash. Incoming. Make way. Bodies piled, limbs mangled, faces frozen in shock. Riley with aid team converted a hangar to shelter, herding civilians, women clutching infants, elders hobbling. Mortars whistled, one exploding near, shrapnel whizzing. She dove, shielding a girl, heat searing her side. Pain bloomed sharp, but she pushed on, bandaging with trembling hands. Elena found her at dawn, slumped against sandbags, shirt bloodied. Riley. The cry tore free, Elena dropping to knees, tearing fabric. Shallow gash, graze miracle. Idiot. She choked, packing wound, voice fierce. Don't you dare. Riley grinned through grimace. Worth it. Saved her. Elena's hands shook, suturing quick, tears splashing. Save yourself. For me. Laura helped carry her to med tent. Their trio a unit forged in fire. She's tough, Laura said later, as Riley slept under sedation. Elena nodded, exhausted. Too tough. Laura's arm around her shoulders squeezed lingering. Lean on me. When she can't. The assault's aftermath brought inspections, brass striding in, clipboard snapping. Riley's sketches surfaced, passed hand to hand, her documentation too vivid. These could leak. A major barked, face red. Subversive. Elena intervened, voice steel. Their truth. And she's one of us now. The major relented, but warning hung. Eyes on Riley. That night, Elena guarded her sleep, chair creaking softly. Can't lose her, she thought, hand on Riley's brow. Across the tent, Jax watched, understanding, silent. Riley woke feverish, Elena's vigil her anchor. Missed you, she mumbled, pulling weak hand to lips. Elena kissed knuckles. Missed? You're glued to me. Laughter weak but real. They talked then, dreams post-war. A cabin in the hills, canvases and scrubs side by side. No sides, Riley whispered. Just us. But sides pressed. Protests hit fever pitch stateside. Kent State shootings flashed on news, guardsmen firing on students. Riley wept, curled in Elena's lap. Our fight's bleeding over. Elena held tight, rocking. We'll stop it. Somehow. Laura's pull grew. Shared smokes, late talks turning personal. One humid evening by the river, her confession slipped. You're under my skin, Elena. More than friend. Elena froze, heart pounding. Laura. Kiss interrupted, soft, testing. Elena pulled back, guilt crashing. Can't. Riley's everything. Laura nodded, hurt veiled. I know. Just. Wished. The air thickened, friendship strained but intact. Riley sensed the shift, eyes searching. Something with the captain? Elena denied, but lies tasted bitter. Trust frayed, arguments sharpening. You're pulling away. This place pulls everyone. Climax brewed as monsoon returned, rains lashing like accusations. A final convoy loomed, Riley's last, high risk to a POW camp. One more, she begged. Elena relented, dread coiling. As trucks loaded, they embraced at dawn, fog thick. Come back, Elena whispered, kiss desperate. Riley nodded, eyes bright. Always. The convoy vanished into mist, Elena's prayer trailing. Surrender nothing. The rain fell in sheets, blurring the world to grays and greens, as Elena paced the command post. Hours ticked past on the wall clock, Each second a hammer on anvil. Convoy radio crackled static, voices fading in and out like ghosts. Checkpoint clear. Ambush possible. Her nails dug crescents into palms, the sting grounding against panic's swell. Laura found her there. Coffee steaming in tin mugs. Sit. They'll make it. Her presence was solid, a bulwark Elena leaned into without thinking, shoulder to shoulder, warmth seeping through fatigues. They sipped in silence, the bitter brew scalding tongues, rain's rhythm a dirge outside. She's got 9 lives, Laura said finally, voice low. Like you. Elena's laugh was brittle. War half out already. Memories flooded. That first San Francisco night, Riley pulling her into a dive bar, jukebox blaring Janis, bodies swaying close amid smoke and sweat. Dance with me, Riley had urged, hips grinding, teasing. Elena, shy then, had melted, hands on curves, the world narrowing to bass thumps and shared breaths. Now that joy felt distant, war's filter graying edges. Radio spat life. Convoy engaged, taking fire. Elena surged up, mud clattering. Riley's group. Dispatch confirmed, horror icing veins. Gunfire popped distant, echoed in her skull. Laura gripped her arm. Breathe. They're fighting. Minutes stretched eternal. Elena's mind reeled visions. Riley ducking bullets, sketchpad forgotten, her laugh silenced. Then miracle. Hostiles down. Meds delivered. Returning. Cheers erupted, but Elena sagged, tears hot. Laura pulled her into hugs, strong arms enveloping. Told you. The embrace held too long, Elena's cheek on Laura's neck. Scent of soap and sweat stirring confusion. She broke away, murmuring thanks, guilt a shadow. The convoy limped in at dusk, trucks battered, faces streaked. Riley emerged last, limping, arms slung but eyes alight. We did it, she gasped, collapsing into Elena. Blood seeped through bandage, shrapnel nick, shallow but stark. Elena whisked her to triage, hands flying. Cleanse, stitch, wrap. Fool, she chided, voice thick. My fool. Riley winced, grinning. Your hero. POWs got word out, ceasefire whispers. News spread like fire. Backchannel talks, Paris Accords heating. Hope crackled, fragile as dry leaves. That night, Riley recounted over flickering lantern. Gunmen melting into jungle, villagers pressing hands in thanks. A child's drawing pressed into her palm. 2 women holding son. Elena listened, head on knee, fingers massaging calf. You changed things. Riley's hand in hair gentle. We did. Intimacy followed, urgent. Bodies slick with rain and relief. Caught groaning under fervor. Elena's mouth trailed fire down Riley's side. Lips brushing new scar, drawing shudders. Mine, she breathed, tongue circling navel. Riley arched, gasp ragged. Always. Peaks crested together, cries muffled in pillows, afterglow a tangle of limbs and whispers. Ends near, Riley murmured, tracing Elena's jaw. Our beginning. But undercurrents swirled. Laura's gaze lingered longer. Conversations laced with what-ifs. One patrol overlap. She and Elena shared foxhole, mud caking, artillery distant rumble. After this, Laura ventured, rifle across lap. Boston or bust? Elena hesitated. Fog of war blurring lines. Frisco. With her. Laura's nod shadowed. Lucky woman. Riley's intuition sharpened. Post-run debrief, she cornered Elena in supply hut. Crates looming like judges. What's with you and Hayes? Tone even, but eyes searched. Elena flushed, denial quick. Friend. Comrade. Riley stepped close, hand on hip. Don't lie. I see it, the looks, the touches. Hurt cracked voice. Elena pulled her in, kiss fierce. Only you. Always. But doubt seeded, trust soil tilled uneasy. Stateside, winds shifted. Nixon's promises, troop withdrawals announced. Base buzzed, rotations accelerating, end in sight. Riley's visa ticked down, aid roll wrapping. 2 weeks, she told Elena over dawn coffee, steam curling like futures. Then home. Together. Elena nodded, throat tight. Together. A final joint-op tested bonds. Med run to border outpost, Elena nursing, Riley documenting, Laura coordinating. Jungle closed in, vines clawing, air thick with rot and rotgut. Ambush hit, sudden bullets zipping, men shouting. Elena dove behind log, rifle barking, heart thunder. Riley nearby, camera flashing, capturing chaos. Down! Elena yelled, tackling her as rounds chewed bark. Laura covered, suppressing fire steady. Move! Evac chopper inbound. They scrambled, Riley's ankle twisting en route, pain shooting. Elena half-carried, arm around waist, Laura flanking. Chopper touched, rotors whipping foliage, they piled in, lifting to safety. Aboard, adrenaline crashed. Riley winced, ice on ankle, Elena's hands gentle. Got you. Across, Laura met Elena's eyes. Gratitude, something deeper. Riley saw, jaw tightening. Silence heavy as they banked home. Base landing, cheers, backslaps. But in barracks, storm broke. Riley whirled on Elena, voice rising. The way she looks at you, like you're hers to save. Elena recoiled. Jealous? After all. Riley's tears fell. Terrified. War's stolen enough. Don't let it steal us. Words escalated. Accusations flying, distance, distractions, divides. You're slipping. You're clinging too tight. Laura interrupted, fist on door. Enough. This place amplifies. Her eyes on Elena, pleading. Riley stormed out, slamming. Elena sank to cot. Head in hands, sobs quiet. Laura sat beside, arm tentative. Talk. Elena did, pouring fears, loves, confusions. Laura listened, then leaned in, lips brushing, tentative. Elena froze, then responded, kiss deepening, hands in hair. A dam breaking. Guilt flooded post, Elena pushing away. Can't. Won't. Laura nodded, pained. I know. But damn, Elena. Riley returned hours later, rain-soaked, eyes red. They faced, air electric. I love you, Riley started. But if? Elena crossed, pulling close. No ifs. You're it. Forgive me. Confession spilled. The kiss, the confusion. Riley stiffened, then softened, tears mingling. War's poison. But antidotes us. Forgiveness and embrace, bodies reaffirming, slow, deliberate, reclaiming every inch. Peaks built patient, releases shuddering, vows sealed in sweat. Dawn brought clarity. Accords signed, ceasefire holding. Orders came, Elena's rotation, Riley's flight. Last days fevered. Walks by river, hands laced, plans spinning. Cabin in Tahoe, Elena dreamed. You paint, I heal. Riley smiled. Deal. Laura's goodbye was quiet, hug firm whisper. Be happy. Deserve it. Elena nodded, closure sweet bitter. Airport dawn. Elena and Civvies, duffel slung, Riley clutching ticket stubs. Plane idled, engines humming promise. They kissed, endless, airport bustle fading. See you stateside, Elena murmured. Riley's hand on cheek, thumb tracing lip. No sides now. Just home. Wheels lifted, Elena's heart soared. Wars divide bridged, love unyielding. The flight home was a blur of clouds and catharsis. Elena's window seat framing a world receding. Jungles shrinking to green smears, Pacific gleaming vast and forgiving. Turbulence jostled, but inside calm reigned. Riley's latest sketch tucked in her lap. Two figures on a porch, sunset gilding, hands entwined eternal. For after, Riley had inscribed, kiss smudging ink. San Francisco welcomed with fog's embrace, chill kissing skin like old friend. Elena deplaned shaky-legged, uniform traded for jeans and sweater, the civilian world jarring, horns blaring, pedestrians surging, no sandbags or sirens. Riley waited at arrivals, curls wild, sign scrawled, my nurse home at last. They collided laughing, spinning amid stares, kiss salty with happy tears. The apartment smelled of fresh paint and basil. Riley's doing, windows cracked to bay breeze. Our nest, she announced, tour quick. New easel by window, Elena's nursing texts stacked neat. They unpacked in bursts, Elena's medals clinking like regrets. Riley's sketches unfurling tales. Dinner simmered. Pasta with pesto, garlic scent weaving memories. Over wine, glasses clinking, they toasted. To surrenders refused. Night fell gentle, sheets cool, bodies familiar yet new. No urgency now, just exploration lazy, Elena's fingers tracing Riley's ribs, drawing sighs like melodies. Miss this, Riley breathed, leg hooking waist. Elena's mouth on breast, tongue circling peak. Missed you. Rhythm built unhurried, waves lapping rather than crashing. Peak's soft sighs shared. After curled spooned, Riley's voice sleep muzzy. War's echo fades. Hear it. Elena nodded into hair. Inhaling lavender. Fading. With you. Morning brought routine's rhythm. Coffee brewing, Riley sketching at table, Elena scanning job listings. Civilian clinic, perhaps. Phone rang, Laura, voice crackling from Boston layover. Heard you landed. Good. Elena glanced at Riley, humming. Better than. Thanks for everything. Pause pregnant, then Laura's laugh warm. Right sometime. Friends. Always. Click closure sealed. Protests lingered but Riley tempered. Channeling fire to galleries, exhibitions of Vietnam truths. Her murals touring, voices amplified. Elena joined one opening, hand in Riley's, crowd murmuring awe. Yvette approached, eyes wet. Your pics. They get it. Riley squeezed Elena's fingers. We get it. Challenges crept. Nightmares jolting Elena awake. Jungle flashbacks, vivid screams, blood. Riley's gash reopening in dreams. She'd bolt up gasping, Riley stirring, arms enveloping. Here. Solid. Talks followed, dawn lit. Elena's guilt over lives lost. Riley's over truths too harsh. Therapy beckoned, joint sessions, couch confessions, progress inching like healing scars. Summer bloom, Tahoe cabin rented, pine-scented escape, lake mirror to skies. They hiked trails, boots crunching needles, hands swinging free. Evenings by fire pit, marshmallows toasting, golden stories swapping. Elena's Kansas tales of fireflies and first crushes. Riley's Frisco legends of street art and stolen hearts. One night, stars carpet overhead. Riley knelt sudden, ring box velvet. Simple band etched dove. Marry me? No sides, just forever. Elena's yes choked. Kiss ceiling amid cheers of loons. They made love on blanket. Earth cradling, bodies sinking to cricket chorus. Fingers interlaced, peaks echoing laughter. Years unfolded like well-worn pages. Elena nursed in VA clinic. Hands steady on vet's wounds, her calm a beacon. Riley taught art therapy, brushes tools for mending souls. They adopted a rescue dog. Mutt with wary eyes, trust earned slow. Home filled. Photos framed. Reunion mutt hugs, wedding under oaks. Riley's belly swelling with their daughter via donor. Elena's palms splayed tender. Daughter arrived squalling, October fog, named Harper, after Elena's middle. Riley cradled first, tears streaming. Our light. Elena kissed brow then lips. Our everything. Challenges persisted, Petey's to flares, Riley's activism clashing Elena's quiet. But storms passed, bridges rebuilt with words and touches. Anniversaries marked. Letters read aloud, dances in kitchen to old records. One eve, porch swing creaking, Harper asleep inside, they watched sunset bleed gold. Riley's head on Elena's shoulder, hand on knee. We surrendered nothing, she murmured. Elena turned, kiss soft. Gained worlds. War's shadow lingered but love stood sentinel. Unyielding, profound. Two women once divided, now whole. A testament that across any chasm, hearts refused to yield. In quiet moments, Elena whispered to stars. Held on. We held.